In this video, pastry experts reveal the 10 baking mistakes that ruin cakes. From expired leavening agents and incorrect oven temperatures to timing issues and overmixing, these missteps can ruin texture, rise, and flavor. You'll also learn how opening the oven door too early, using cold ingredients, inaccurate measuring, improper pan prep, choosing the wrong flour, frosting a hot cake, and timing-related overbaking sabotage your bake. Stick around for practical fixes and final tips to bake truly delicious, perfectly baked cakes. 1. Using expired leavening agents. Less than P greater than nothing destroys a cake faster than expired baking powder or baking soda sitting in your pantry cabinet. The shelf life of baking powder is typically 18-24 months if it's kept in a cool, dry place. If you end up using expired baking powder, your baked goods will still be edible, but won't rise and will turn dense, since cakes, cookies, and cupcakes need the leavener's full power to cause a chemical reaction that makes them fluffy. Less than P greater than expired baking soda or inactive baking powder will no longer react properly in your recipes. This means your cakes won't rise, your cookies won't spread, and your baked goods will end up tough and dense. Professional pastry chefs test their leavening agents regularly for this exact reason. Place 1 teaspoon baking powder in a cup and add 1/3 cup hot tap water. If it starts to bubble, it's good to go. Don't risk your precious cake on old ingredients that lost their potency months ago. Less than P greater than. 2. Opening the oven door too early. Less than P greater than Johann Le Bescone, the executive pastry chef at the Equestrian Hotel, warns, it's the biggest mistake. The influx of cold air in the oven will make any batter or pastries collapse. Think of your oven as a delicate ecosystem where temperature stability is everything. Every time you peek inside, you're basically sabotaging your own hard work. Less than P greater than he recommends waiting until the end of the stated baking time to open the oven door and check the status of the baked items, usually with a clean knife blade. Opening the door can cause the oven temperature to fluctuate, affecting the baking process. This can result in an unevenly baked cake or a cake that needs to rise properly. Your cake needs consistent heat to develop its structure properly, and that random temperature drop can turn your masterpiece into a sunken disappointment. Less than P greater than. 3. Overmixing the batter. Less than P greater than Chan says, overmixing turns cookies too caked, cakes too dense, and pizza or bread doughs too chewy and tough. When you beat that batter like it owes you money, you're developing too much gluten in the flour. Though the temptation to mix your batter until it's silky smooth is strong, overmixing can ruin your cake's texture. Overworking the flour develops gluten, leading to a dense, chewy cake instead of a light, fluffy one. Less than P greater than overmixing your batter will cause it to look very pale and fluffy, with a lot of air whipped into the mixture. Too much air will cause the cake to rise too soon and shrink as it cools. It will sink in the middle and have an uneven texture. The key is mixing just until everything comes together, no more, no less. Your cake wants to be tender and fluffy, not a workout for your jaw muscles. Less than P greater than. 4. Incorrect oven temperature. Less than P greater than ovens can be off by 10-20 degrees, leading to uneven baking. One of the biggest mistakes in cake baking is not getting the temperature just right. We all know what happens when you overcook or undercook a cake, it's a total disaster. Professional bakers know this secret weapon that home bakers often ignore: oven thermometers. Less than P greater than a cake baked at 300 degrees Fahrenheit is lighter and fluffier than a cake baked at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The cake baked at 300 degrees Fahrenheit also has a pale, even outer crust which remains gummy due to the reduced degree of evaporation at the cake's surface. Baking at 350 degrees Fahrenheit is sort of a happy medium between 300 degrees Fahrenheit and 400 degrees Fahrenheit and creates a cake that has the best of both worlds. Temperature isn't just a suggestion, it's the difference between cake perfection and cake catastrophe. Less than P greater than. 5. Using cold ingredients. Less than P greater than if eggs, butter, or milk are too cold, they won't blend properly. Begin with room temperature ingredients for a smooth batter. Cold ingredients are like trying to mix oil and water, they just don't want to play nicely together. Using cold ingredients straight from the fridge is a no. You might think you're saving time by not waiting for things to come to room temp, but trust me, it's a shortcut that is not worth taking. Less than P greater than all of your ingredients should be at room temperature before mixing. Cake batters are an emulsion, so a homogeneous final product is the end goal. For example, if your butter is too cold before being whipped, then there will be cold lumps of butter that won't incorporate into your batter, preventing the mixture from being whipped properly. Room temperature ingredients create the smooth, cohesive batter that leads to perfectly textured cakes. Less than P greater than 6. Inaccurate measuring. Less than P greater than, even though they hold the same volume. Typically, using a liquid measuring cup to measure dry ingredients creates problems like spilling and inaccurate amounts due to the difficulty leveling. Baking is basically chemistry in disguise, and chemistry requires precision. One of the most common mistakes made in cake baking is needing to measure ingredients correctly. While measuring cups and spoons are commonly used in households, they can be inaccurate and lead to inconsistencies in your baked goods. Less than P greater than a cake batter with too much flour will be dry, crumbly, and heavy. To avoid this, make sure you weigh your flour instead of scooping it. Although it's quick, scooping with a measuring cup can easily result in too much flour. However, weighing your flour variety gives you a precise measurement, ensuring a consistent cake crumb every time. Professional bakers swear by kitchen scales for a reason: they eliminate the guesswork that ruins so many home-baked cakes. Less than P greater than 7. Improper pan preparation. Less than P greater than forgetting to grease or line your pan can ruin your cake's appearance and make serving difficult. Always prepare your baking pan well, using butter, oil, or parchment paper. There's nothing more heartbreaking than a beautiful cake that sticks to the pan and falls apart when you try to remove it. Forgetting to grease or line your pan can ruin your cake's appearance and make serving difficult. Always prepare your baking pan well, using butter, oil, or parchment paper. Less than P greater than wondering how to ensure a perfect release. Try dusting with flour after greasing. This step prevents sticking and facilitates a smooth removal. Ultimately, proper pan preparation is a crucial step for beautifully presented cakes. Professional pastry kitchens have a saying: better over-prepared than under-prepared. Your cake deserves a clean, smooth exit from its baking home. Less than P greater than 8. Frosting a hot cake. Less than P greater than for one thing: if you're planning on icing a cake or cupcakes, doing it while they're hot will be a messy process that ultimately won't allow your icing to stick properly. Picture this disaster: your beautiful frosting sliding right off your warm cake like butter on a hot pan. Frosting a warm cake can be a recipe for disaster. If you want to avoid your frosting melting and to slide off the cake, let that sweet baby cool completely before slathering on the frosting. Less than P greater than this mistake can lead to a messy, melting icing disaster. Patience is key. If you frost too soon, your icing will slide right off. Cooling sets the cake structure, making it easier to handle. Patience might be tough when you're excited to decorate, but your finished cake will thank you for the wait. Less than P greater than 9. Wrong flour type. Less than P greater than choosing the correct flour is essential for cake success. All-purpose flour is versatile, but cake flour provides a tender crumb. If you've ever wondered why your cake is dense, flour type might be the issue. Cake flour has less protein, which means less gluten development. Think of flour as the foundation of your cake. Use the wrong type, and your whole structure suffers. Less than P greater than how to substitute. Mix cornstarch with all-purpose flour if cake flour is unavailable. Hence, understanding flour can significantly influence your cake's texture, turning a dense bake into a light, airy dessert. Professional bakers understand that protein content in flour directly affects the final texture. Lower protein means more tender crumbs, which is exactly what you want in a perfect cake. Less than P greater than 10. Timing issues and overbaking. Less than P greater than with delicate pastry. Items that spend 30 seconds to 1 minute extra in the oven can be the difference between perfect or dry and overbaked. In his line of work at Ole & Steen, that small amount of time is the difference between a pastry that can be sold or one that goes in the trash. Timing in baking isn't just a suggestion, it's the difference between success and failure. Underbaking happens when the cake is not cooked all the way through, resulting in a raw and dense texture. Overbaking, on the other hand, happens when the cake is left in the oven for too long, resulting in a dry and burnt texture. Less than P greater than if your oven temp is too high. You will bake the cake past 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the temperature where water evaporates. If all of the moisture from your cake is evaporated, you will be left with a dry and crumbly cake. Avoid this by using the low and slow method, which means baking the cake at a lower temperature. Try 325,350 degrees Fahrenheit, and for a longer time to more easily control the cake's doneness. Professional bakers set personal timers to stay alert that extra attention to timing separates amateur attempts from bakery quality results. Less than P greater than. 11. Final thoughts. These 10 mistakes represent the most common pitfalls that transform promising cake batter into disappointing disasters. Each error teaches us that baking truly is a science requiring precision, patience, and attention to detail. The beauty of understanding these mistakes lies not in avoiding failure entirely, but in learning from each mishap to become a better baker. Remember that even professional pastry chefs started somewhere, making these exact same errors in their early days. The difference between amateur and expert isn't the absence of mistakes, it's the knowledge gained from understanding why things go wrong and how to fix them next time. What surprised you most about these common baking blunders?